How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Welcome back to the next episode of the AQ Nostalgia Quest series, and today's episode I won't be going on a quest just yet, but I'll be explaining to you guys my thought process behind the whole build, what I've changed up, and why I decided to do things some way, as well as let you guys know how I'm planning to make this whole build work, because apparently some of you guys are interested to know how this whole build comes together. So first off, I swapped my no drop over to energy because I think there weren't many good energy stuff there. So we'll start from the weapons, okay? So no drop is the energy weapon. For fire weapon, we have Infernal Champions armaments, okay? And for the shield, you also have Infernal Champions Curse as well as the armor. So this whole set is from last year's Black Friday set, and it is basically a super beefed up version of the Bard of War armor. So not only do you get extra SP heal if all your hits connect, you also get the ability to toggle on pet and guest celerity, and this is guaranteed, unlike Bard of War. But of course this does cost extra SP, so it's more expensive than Bard of War, but Bard of War is not guaranteed celerity, whereas this is. Okay, it also acts like a pseudo clever disguise, but doesn't take up your turn. And on top of that, you can also get your pets and guests to inflict a HP poison on your foe, which can actually be very good if you're using this in the full set, because the shield does give you minus 20 potency, and you also get an additional 10 poison potency from using the full set. So 30 poison potency, and that is before you even add any other items. Let's say if I add on my optical mist, okay, so you can see here I'm getting 40 potency. So if I'm going to use this full set for poison, there's like a super duper high chance that I am going to inflict all the poisons that I need to inflict. So yeah, and poison, the damage is not a lot at first, but once you go off enough turns, you'll slowly start to stack it up, and then you basically just have unlimited resources, assuming you're using this with Fae and Creature 72. That is the main combo with this build. This is the first combo that I want to talk about because I think it's super duper effective. So this is how the full set will work. Okay, optical, and this is basically unlimited resource build. So you rely on your Creature 72 to inflict panic. This reduces the amount of damage that foe does. So even if you are, let's say the foe is dealing something like light damage or like ice damage, after a few turns, you probably need to tank up the first turn, especially if they're going to nuke, and you can use your invincible star to go ahead and do that, or you can also use bag or mixed nuts to go ahead and do that before you can set it up properly. So with the extra 10 potency here, the Creature 72 should be able to inflict that pretty easily. Also on the first turn, if you don't start off with a full bar of HP, you might want to get a bit more SP with Essence Orb, okay, just to make sure you have enough for all of your toggles. But once you have all the toggles done, that's basically that. Okay, so obviously you want to toggle a Fey Wanderer to eat the panic, okay, and then you want to toggle this on. So this one, extra SP heal, we definitely want that. This one, your pets and guests will be able to poison, so this will set up our HP heal loop. And this one, extra celerity to get the heal loop even faster, okay. So pet and guest celerity, and you can also toggle on your weapon to get even more poison to stack it up even faster. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and attack. So right here, the reduced damage as well as the HP heal from the poison will ensure that you will have you will not die. And then of course the Creature 72 as well as the Fae, these two combo, they will ensure that you have enough MP to upkeep the Creature 72 guess, as well as enough SP to upkeep all of the toggles on this armor. And as an added bonus, the armor also gets celerity once per battle every time you fall below half HP. So if you fall below half HP, you get celerity as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And last but not least, we have optical to make sure we get lucky strikes on all of the heals. And you can see here, only after 2 turns, it's like 540 poison. Couple that with the panic, yeah, you're basically invincible here. So this optical is pretty much just to help. Oops, looks like I did not toggle on both. Okay, now we have it. I think we went out just now. Okay. I didn't get enough SP just now, but I can see the optical with the gas. Yep, that's basically full heal. And now you have an unlimited loop setup, and your damage doesn't come from the weapon. It comes mainly from the poison. Look at how strong the poison is right now. So 4.6k. Okay, 4.5k, and you see full resources. So 4.5k to 3.8k, that's about 700 to 800 poison damage alone. That is absolutely crazy. Of course, once you build all this up, you can swap it out and try and nuke with something else if you want to, but I think this is the setup that you want to go for. If you want to tank, if you're going in for lengthy battles, then this will ensure that you never die and always have resources at your disposal. Next up, we have the Slayer of Kindness. Okay, so if you're not using optical, you can use this. So what you can do is you can go ahead and click on this weapon, and what it will do is it takes up a turn, but it will give you extra hyper crit for your pet and extra damage for your guests. So if you want to do more damage, you can use this weapon. You can couple it with this combo, or you can use something else, okay, which I'm going to show here. So right, the next set, we can show Ice Necro Cavalry. This is more of the mage part of the build, so it doesn't really have much synergy with any pets or guesses of any kind. But if you want to inflict, like you just want to burst down your opponent, then this is one of the best ultra rare golden gift box items I can recommend if you're a mage. The first skill, 490 SP, and you can inflict like what, 92% ice ally round or 95% ice ally round on the foe. That is absolutely crazy, guys. And then you can use the second skill, which is excellent for any bosses with damage caps, because this does 6 hits, and 6 hits with the ice damage. Can you imagine that with the ally round? Like, look at the damage. That is just insane. So you can either set it up first turn, you know, you do the ally round, and then second turn you do the nuke. Or if you are not patient, you think you can nuke down the enemy in one turn, don't even bother the ally round, just go ahead straight up, do the chill haunting for 6 hit nuke. And it's also a spellcaster armor, which means that your spells will get a boost from that, which is very, very nice. Okay, so this weapon here, you can couple it with basically anything. You don't have to particularly use like any set with it. It's just good synergy with the rest of the build in general. It doesn't really, like, you know, go with anything in particular out of this set. Alright, next up, we'll talk about Archmage Apprentice. Now, this was used because I didn't really have anything else, but somebody, I believe it was Jada, mentioned that he wanted mana shield inside the build, so he suggested Gandalfin, but I couldn't find any way to squeeze Gandalfin in here. But I forgot that Archmage Apprentice actually comes with its own mana shield. So the first one is basically useless because I don't have any water spells currently, so the first skill is kind of useless. But the second skill, this one, only 78 MP. Look at how cheap this cost is. And what do you get for 78 MP? You get 12 MRM, which is not a lot. You get status resist plus 10, which is also not a lot. And you also get a mana shield. All three of those, you don't get a lot of those, but you're getting 3 different things. And they are all useful in their own right, okay? Defense boost helps you get a better chance of dodging attacks, even though it's not guaranteed. And you can stack this as well, just to show you guys. Okay, status resist. Okay, the only the mana shield stacks. Sorry, so yeah, only the mana shield stacks. The rest doesn't stack. Okay, they just increase it by 1 turn. So ideally, if you're not using it for the mana shield, you only want to use it for. You only want to do the status resist and the defense boost after everything has worn off. So, ooh, looks a bit weird here. Why am I getting 2 lines of status resist now? I don't know if this is bugged or what. But yeah, this will help against any hostile statuses, like maybe the enemy is going to stun you or inflict some sort of poison, burn, whatnot. It's not very useful nowadays because we don't exactly have a lot of bosses with threatening statuses. Okay, so the defense boost does stack. Oh, now it gives 25.33. Okay, so if you cast this a few times, you basically have like a big dictionary here. Not as good, obviously, since you do need more turns to cast it. But the mana shield, like, look at that. The efficiency 1.02. 299 MP per 1 HP directed. So if you couple this with Fey Wanderer and your optical as well as your, what do you call that, creature 72, basically unlimited HP as well. So once again, another defensive thing that you can do with the build is make use of this mana shield, make use of the huge healing from Fey Wanderer. Okay, next up we have excuse me, Dark Invader. Okay, so Dark Invader, this is another energy armor, but it's also a fire armor as well, both of which we already have, but we do have a spare slot, which was why I chose to use this. And why do I use this? The main reason is because it comes with this super powerful status bomb effect, so it causes a turn and doesn't do any damage. But what it does, if you see here, So it gives your foe status weakness minus 14.4. So if you want to inflict anything else outside of maybe this will work with your your panic as well from your creature 72. If your enemy is resisting your panic a lot, you can use this status weakness. There is also choke, which reduces their damage. Another defensive skill, defense loss minus 17.3 from energy and fire. So what you can do is you can use this with your energy and fire pets. Okay, fire pet under Wormling. This is mainly for denying the enemy's SP attack or boss's SP attack. Okay, I wouldn't really use this much for normal fire damage. For normal fire damage, you can go ahead and use Silas. Okay, Silas inflicting the ally round. This will make sure that Silas lands all of his hits, which is very nice. And then he also has 192% ally round to energy and fire. So you can couple this with your Silas pet for more fire ally round, and yeah, it will basically do a crazy amount of damage. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, more sensitive to agony. Boom. Oh. Okay, so the Silas pet actually ally seeks, and it always defaults to darkness. So yeah, unfortunately we won't be able to see that here, but can you imagine Silas doing fire damage as well, coupled with the ally round? Yeah, it'll be crazy. And you also get a blind, a pretty strong blind, minus 25.9, which means that it'll help you to dodge attacks as well. Which is why this armor is just so good in my opinion. Like, even though it's not ready for nuking, but you use this armor to set up your nuking, to set up your defenses. Very nice. Alright. Next up, we have Mark of Wrath, and the reason why I'm using this is because I do not have space for a wind weapon currently in my build. So what this has is it has a wind lock attack, so 157 SP, 157 7 SP per turn. Okay, you can lock it to do wind attack, and you can, when you attack with it, okay, for each hit you get you reduce the enemy's BTH and blocking by 3. So this is a permanent effect until the enemy succeeds on an endurance save. So endurance save is most enemies do have some form of endurance, so you will likely not be able to stack this very high against regular mobs, but this is really just a way for me to get, get some wind, some form of wind element damage into the build, since I don't have that. Okay, and next, okay, if you look at the other skills, Rising Rev, this is basically your nuke, 169 SP, pretty cheap nuke as well, and it's based off how many stacks of Reckoning that you have. So I'm going to do this. Right now you can see here, it does 4 hits, so that's actually pretty nice against, any high HP mobs and all that kind of stuff. Okay, wait, no. Oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, each use of this skill adds power to Reckoning. Sorry, this does not consume your cold status. Sorry, that was my bad. Okay, so the more times you do this, the more times you power up your third attack. So I'm going to do this 3 times here. So now we have 3 stacks of that. I don't personally find this very useful, because if you want to nuke, you will not spend 3 turns to set it up. Okay, so the fourth skill, what it does is it causes a hefty amount of SP as well as HP, and based on how many times you hit with this Rising Rev, it will boost the damage from Reckoning. So look at that, that is some crazy damage. Okay, if for some reason you can't nuke on the first few turns, you can set up with Rising Rev first, and then you nuke afterwards once you have enough charges. Okay, but really this armor is just mostly for consuming Rev. This minus BTH helps with defenses, minus blocking helps with your pets attacking their, being able to land their attacks. So overall, I would say just the first skill alone has enough synergy for a Lucky Beast Mage build. On top of that, on top of giving me a wind element attack. Okay. Next up, Champion Holy Armor. I don't think I need to explain why this is used. This is the best light armor in the game, hands down for now. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this armor. The class title ability that I went with is Necromancer, because I do feel that Necromancer class title is more useful for this Lucky Beast Mage build. But what you can do here is there's a whole lot of stuff here. So Resplendent Surge. Okay, this one is just a basic light skill that inflicts blind, and the blind is not shabby, like 6 rounds or minus 33.9 blind. And you also have Searing Radiance. This one can influence the giving weapon attacks to cause burns as well as panic, or both. Okay, so panic, you can use this, stack it with your C72 for even more panic if you're worried that C72 can't stack it up fast enough. Okay, the burn part, I guess it's not super useful unless you want to use a dot ability. There's not a lot burns inside of this build, but I think there's some form of it. Okay, Resonance Smite, this one. It deals extra damage to blinded or burning foes, so there's synergy with that ability if you want to do that. Okay, but generally I don't really use that a lot. I don't think it's that fantastic. And then here we have armaments. This is really just another set of light equipment, nothing special. I think there's a bonus to undead, but I wouldn't use this over the regular equip, so this is pretty much useless. Redeemer's Conviction, this one, increase your blocking and your spiritual resonance further increases this effect against undead. Okay, so yeah, against undead mobs, you get more blocking inside of this armor. Reinforcements, this one is great for Beastmasters because it compresses 3 gases. First one, Daimyo, not used a lot. Okay, if you're fighting undead or demons and you need some sort of light damage, you can use this, or if you want some sort of heal. Apprentice, this one you can use it to dodge. Okay, it doesn't boost your MRM, but what it does is it passively inflicts blind on your foe. You won't be able to see the status, but that is what it does. It can also just do it, yeah, or it can just, you know, hit normally for normal attacks. Wait, what does the normal attack do? Hold on, let me just double check. Okay, I think it just attacks for regular light damage, right? Oops. I think it just attacks for regular light damage. Let's take a look. If so, then we wouldn't really use it. Let's see. Yeah, it's just regular light damage, so not very useful, okay, in the regular mode. So if you want to use this, I guess you can use it for dodge. Okay. And then the last mode. Oops. Wrong one. Okay. Oops a daisy. Okay, wait. Yeah, and then a manifestation. This is probably the most useful one. So first off, you can have it boost the damage that it deals by like twice or something by paying double the amount of and you can toggle this between SP or MP, which is absolutely fantastic. So as a mage, you have both resources, so depending on which one you want to use, you can choose. Okay, manifestation, you can boost your light damage, which isn't used a lot because there isn't a whole lot of light damage inside of this build. I guess you can use Queen of Jaya's light alley round with Protosea's light alley round for more light damage, but yeah, the boosting not so great, but it's more for like if you just want pure nuking light damage, you can go ahead and toggle that on, and I think it's very good. The downside of course is there is quite a lot of lag with that as well. Okay, so this one, lay on hands, this one you can heal, and then harmonic might. This one you gain strength and intellect. Strength is useless here, so you're only really getting the boost from intellect. Summon Steed. Okay, this one based on charisma, which is nice because as a Beastmaster you will have charisma trained. Okay, and this one I don't really use these. Okay, Daze is not very useful nowadays. This one follow up strikes. What does this do? Exhausted and vulnerable. Oh, it inflicts Ellie Round as well. Very nice. Okay, so if you want light Ellie Round, there's one inside of this armor as well. Man, I really gotta make a checklist of what this armor does. Okay, let's see. These are title abilities, and there's also charge, plenty of damage to unsuspecting enemies. I'm not sure what this does, but yeah, it's generally not used a lot. I guess the Ellie Round one is useful. Resilient Aura. So it's a passive skill which you don't get. I think it's some sort of tidal ability maybe. Inspiring Radiance, so pet and guests will be able to deal greater damage. You can go ahead and boost them by 25% and you deal lesser damage as well. And this is quick cast, so that's actually very nice, so you don't need to spend a turn to boost them. Okay, Redeemer's Might. This one, go and overwhelm your foe with staggering might. Again, I am not super sure what that does. Okay, I'll go ahead and dismiss this. Okay, Redeemer's Might. This one I think is just, yeah, this is melee damage, which is not very good. Okay, and it dazes your foe. Maybe I should switch to using the Arcanist version. Yeah, maybe I should probably switch to using the Arcanist version now that I remember. Okay, I'll switch over to the Arcanist version probably in the next video. Or maybe at the end of this video, yeah, before I forget. Okay, so we can use that for days, which is not very good. Okay, and then last but not least, Sun Scales Legacy. So this is super expensive, but if you're facing off against an undead foe, you can use this to do void damage, which is pretty strong. And that's it for the Champion Holy Armor. Last but not least, Spellslinger's Obsidian Cloak, and I don't need to explain why, because this is literally meant for beast mages. If you're a beast mage, you definitely need this, and it's the best darkness in the armor in the game currently. So yeah, Undead Giant, this one, very expensive. Wow. Now there's a lot of stuff that I don't use here because I just don't remember them, but this is actually a super duper versatile armor. Okay, so just briefly go through them again. So Undead Giant, and this one I think does days. Was it days as well? I don't remember. Let's check again on a clean slate. Okay, I'm going to do this just so I have enough SP to keep spamming the skills when I need them for the showcase. The barrier from Necromancer also helps, and you basically get a free barrier by just equipping this armor before the start of the battle if you're a Necromancer class. And I think this is pretty useful for tanking some big damage that you don't know if it's coming your way or not. So yeah, personally I quite like that. Okay, let's do Undead Giant again. So it's just basic damage. Nothing much to shout about. Not really fantastic in my opinion. Alright, next up we have Fear. Okay, we'll talk about Expertise first. So this is a passive skill that gives you status potency, which means your effects are going to land more easily, which is nice. Grievous Weave, this one for your spells, you can cause it to inflict bleed, you can cause it to inflict paralyze, which is not very good because of freedom. So normally you just go with bleed, but for regular mobs you can go for both paralyze as well as bleed. Okay, and then we have Fear. Okay, Looming Fear. So this one does darkness damage and it inflicts Afraid. Not very useful nowadays, but you know what, against mobs that have the mechanic whereby you have to stun them for one turn, you can go ahead and do that. We also have Searing Fear. So this is fire. Alright, so we have fire and we have a darkness skill, and last but not least we have Harm, Primal Fear. So this is quite useful against enemies that have less than 100% resistance across the board, and I know you guys were shouting at me on the first episode to use that against Gologao. I wasn't confident, I was scared of dying, so I didn't do that. Okay, Anima Ward, there's a free barrier that you're getting. And then we have Raised Skeleton here. These are your pets and guesses. Okay, so this one, Deathless Knight, you can use this to go Berserk or something like that. Okay, Berserk to increase damage and upkeep with lowered accuracy. So you can see here, he will do more damage if you do that. This is great for damage, but ideally you want to use some form of death loss before you use this guy. Otherwise, you're going to miss quite a lot against regular mobs, so I don't really recommend this that much. Okay, next up we also have Undead Beast. So this one can either inflict, I think it's Fear or Bleed. Let me see. Bleed and... okay. Oops, Guardian Dragon. Not now. Oh my god, of course. Freaking Guardian Dragon. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, the regular mode doesn't really do anything. Okay, next we have Deathless Draco Leech. So this one, you deals bonus darkness damage to foes you have inflicted with fear or bleed, and you can seek between fire and darkness for your attacks, which is very nice. And then next we have Wraithwork. So more different guesses for you to choose from. So Ghost Ally, this one has auto hit and seeks between ice and energy. So this is good for monsters with high MRM. Ancestral Wraith. This one, paralyze or all out for wind damage. Okay, which is not the all out for wind damage. What does it do again? Let me see. Massive damage for increased cost. So yeah, increased cost to basically do more damage. This is your nuking guess, and this will be better than the undead, than the skeleton from before, because it's not affected by berserk, which means that you won't get reduced BTH. Against regular mobs, this will be better if you just want big damage. And last but not least, Anima Manifestation. So this is fire or harm damage. So this is actually very good for monsters with less than 100% resist, which is quite nice. Okay, and you can choose between the two. So yeah, that's basically it. Harm gas, very nice. Okay, absorb hexes. This one, you can basically use it to absorb any burn, bleed, whatnot on your foe for a stronger heal. And this is, I think this is a HP or is it MP heal, I'm not sure. So you don't have anything on it right now, which is why the heal is kind of weak. So you have more status effects on the foe, like your burn and bleed and all that, then you will be able to have a, bigger heal, which is nice. So this, I believe, is a HP heal. Yep. Next up, we have Death Walker. So this one, if you die, you get a second chance, assuming you have it charged. Normally, it's not charged for me, but if you're scared of dying, you can go ahead and charge it up first, and then equip this armor and go all out nuke and not be afraid of dying. Because even if you die once, you still get a second chance. I'll not showcase all of that. Okay, Necromancer's Presence. This one 50 intellect, very useful for boosting your BTH and damage of your spells. Death's Resilience. This one, yeah, it's a passive skill, gives you more status resist against those effects. Grasp Essence. Okay, so this one you can consume fear. You can basically to eat your fear to restore your body. And what this does is, it's basically a nuke, which is quite nice. Okay, so your fear is going to do even more damage, and it has quite a lot of hits, which is very useful against multi-hit bosses. Okay, if you can't inflict fear on them, I guess that's not useful, right? Against bosses with freedom. So I would say it's not used a lot. Okay, next up we also have Unravel Blood. This one I believe is something to do with bleed. Yep, it's a bleed eater, so if you can inflict bleed on your foe, you can go ahead and use that for more big damage nukes. Let me just dismiss all this first. Alright, and the last one is Ren. Okay, Ren, evacuate their mana buffer and turn it into a simple shield. Can't remember what this does. Oh, this attacks your enemy's mana and gives you a ally shield. Okay, so this is another defensive skill they have. You can see here there's a lot of defensive skills inside of this build as well. It's not just offense, 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 even though that's how I like to play. That's why normally I don't pay attention to all these defensive skills, but yeah, there's actually a lot of defensive skills you can use inside of this build, which is fantastic. So this one you can toggle on to give a boost to your spells, a boost to your pets and guests, or a boost to everything, which is nice. Okay, and Haunting, this is basically your spell. You have an efficient darkness spell, you have a standard darkness spell, as well as an overcharged darkness spell. So if you want to nuke, and all of these are 6 hits, which is absolutely fantastic for bossing nowadays. And then we also have Curse and Counter Curse. This one, just some resistance again. Okay, nothing much to talk about. Twin Summoning, these are for pets, so you have a guest version before that, and this one you can call these as your pets as well. Okay, I don't think they are going to replace my standard pets, so I'm not really going to use this much, but it's there if you ever need them. Okay, Mana Quickening. This one is a mana regen, and look at that, 1.3k MP heal. This is crazy. Okay, this one causes SP as well as HP, but it does give you quite a fat MP heal, so you need to heal MP in a hurry. You can go ahead and use this Aggressive Anima Ward. So every time after you cast a damaging spell, you get more barrier out of it, which is quite nice for defense. And Deathless Abomination. This one, I believe you have to charge it, so I won't really use it much. Summon Legion, I believe this is based off the charge as well. But yeah, you can look at this. You need to wait a few turns for that. I think you need to wait like 3 turns or something. Unleash Legion. Okay, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6, so also 6 hits. So you can see here I didn't really bother charging up. That's why the damage is quite low. But it also inflicts a whole bunch of conditions on your foe. You have bleed, you have poison, you have afraid, you have burn. Like, holy crap. This is basically another status bomb if you don't want to use Dark Invader. And that's all for the armors. Okay, next up. Water Triton. This is actually a placeholder. I meant to replace this with Cephalolus once it comes out, which should be the case in about a few weeks time. But for now, Triton actually works decently well as well. So you can see this. Okay, you can inflict water eddy bound on your foe, or you can go ahead and switch it. Oops. Okay. Hold on a minute. How do I switch it? Yeah. Okay. Or you can click to inflict a oops, not enough MP. You can go ahead and click it to inflict a poison on your foe, a water poison, which is also nice if you want more HP heals. Generally, I don't think the poison is that great, but I think the water Elivound is very useful. Okay, so if you don't have the tokens to get Cephalolus and you kind of want to follow this build, you can also use Triton instead. I think it's a very, very good replacement. Right, for Earth, we got Prism Heart Tome, which is a new token item, and the reason why I like this is because you have a Prismatic Burn, okay, which is super duper nice against enemies with damage caps, because prismatic burns counts as 8 hits. Like, that is just crazy. Okay, so a burn that deals 8 hits. Okay, and this spell also does a lot of hits on its own, so against damage cap mobs this is absolutely fantastic. And the prismatic burn is like what, 8 turns or something like that. So it's a lengthy prismatic burn. It's a weak one, but if you can boost it, then it's going to be great. Or you can go ahead and stack it as well. Next up, you also have Flutter Free. So this is just Earth attack, Earth damage with poison. Not that fantastic. Coma Shield. This is quick cast and it gives you an ally shield, so more defensive prowess if you want that. And 0.75. It's not fantastic, but you know, it is quick cast, so there's a bonus. And of course, you have your standard draw mana. Okay, next weapon, we have Alchemical Unity. Okay, so this is if you want to boost your attacks to a crazy amount, you want to use it with Alchemical Unity, and you can inflict a fat blind on the monster. I think this was yeah, so this was also used with my previous build, so I don't need to explain that any further. This is absolutely fantastic. So you can technically play Dodge Slash with this whole build on its own, not so much by boosting your own MRM, but by inflicting blinds, inflicting the cold and all that kind of stuff on your enemy. You can go ahead and play Dodge Slash to a pretty good extent using this build, assuming your enemy doesn't, you know, go ahead and resist everything. So yeah, there is still Dodge Slash in this build, even though there aren't any MRM boosting items, because blind technically works the same way, just that you have to inflict it on monsters. Alright, for Darkness, we have the Tarnished Blade of Elders. Honestly, I didn't know what to put for this slot, so this is the only one I had. Okay, I tested it out with the Void Forge stuff. It's actually not very good. But yeah, this can be used on its own, so you can click on it to go ahead and inflict a poison on the enemy, and the poison, I believe, yeah, is a flat amount. It's not very good, but I couldn't think of anything better. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should use for Darkness, please go ahead, let me know down in the comment section below. Last but not least, I managed to squeeze this in, the Void Forge Celestial Arsenal. I did some testing with it. Okay, inside of this build alone, there's not a lot of great ways to imbue this other than to, you know, imbue it on your own. But this works as a harm weapon, so I'm basically using this for my harm weapon. And the occasional void if I'm feeling fancy. I don't think the void here is very worth considering what I have currently. But better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, it's just there for funsies, okay, not so much as something serious. Now for the shields, let's go through the shields. Okay, Fire Shield, we have Infernal Champion, Lost Talent Tower. This one covers Ice, Light and Wind, so this is my Compression Shield. Okay, Celtic Wheel for water, and this also boosts Intellect, which is great if I want to spellcast and nuke. Eternal Champion's Defiance, this one gives me Choke and Panic Potence, which is nice when combined with Creature 72. If I want to, it's also probably one of the best Earth shields out there right now. Legion Shield Cake, the best shield inside of the game for every element. The shield cake is the best shield in the game for every single element. You get accuracy boost, you can ally and power, you can imbue with darkness, charisma boost, crit boost, or you can go ahead and get guaranteed celerity. Okay, you do need to spend turns to charge this, and you can only hold a very limited amount of charges, but if you charge up before battle, you're basically able to get a bunch of stuff for free, a bunch of boosters for essentially free, no cost at all. That's why it's so useful. Tropo Shield, okay, this is basically the new CIT. What you can do is you can click on it, oops, you can click on the Tropo Shield and it will attempt to go ahead and inflict, okay, okay, didn't inflict that time, but yeah, okay, if you're hitting with, what's the elements again? Okay, if you're hitting with wind, if you're hitting with earth, fire, or energy, okay, you attempt to inflict ally bound on your enemy using that, which is very, very nice. Let's see. And the ally bound only lasts for 1 turn, but what it does is it inflicts it before you do the attack. So you'll be able to get the boost from the ally bound before you hit, and it will be great with pets and guests because they will be able to get that 1 turn boost as well before it expires. Next up, Void Force Celestial Aegis. This is to combo with the Void Force Celestial Armaments. There's no reason to use this shield over any other shield if you're going for elemental defenses, because this is minus 13% to everything, so it's not particularly good defense for any single element. And then we have pets. Okay, Void Awakening Skull. This one, there's 2 modes. Okay, I'm not right now I'm still on the fence on whether I want to get the summon or the court one. So summon is the MP one, so it can give me a mana shield, which will combo quite well with the mana shield from the Archmage Apprentice armor if I want to go that route, or alternatively I can go ahead and use it to heal MP. Okay, but of course this MP heal is not a mode that I will usually use. If I want to heal MP, I will most likely go with my Jelly pet or go with my Fey Wanderer pet. So yeah, I'll probably not use the heal. It's mainly just for the mana shield. Underwhelming, I already explained it just now, is to deny bosses of their SP attack. Fey Wanderer for the crazy healing. Meteor Jelly, this is another form of healing. So for example, if I can't if I can't inflict a mob with panic, or if the boss just has a lot of boss boost, very difficult for me to inflict panic, I can switch over to this pet instead, so I don't have to rely on creature 72 inflicting panic. On top of that, if there is a boss that is immune to form shift, I can't PCO, and he also has negative darkness resist, then obviously I won't be able to inflict panic with creature 72. That's when I can use my Jelly to go ahead and heal my resources, and I can choose between HP, MP, or SP, and I can go ahead and use Optical to power it up for some crazy heal. So I'm just going to show you guys right now what I can do. So yeah, 310 SP just like that, very easy, just combo it with Optical, nothing much to say. Okay, Spotter Drake. Okay, I'm mainly using this for the potency. Let's say if I want to inflict something, I'll switch over to Spotter Drake, get the free potency, afterwards switch out. Okay, you can also use it to hit for damage. It causes 71 SP to do extra 50% wind damage, which is not bad for nuking if you want to go that route. Shiny Wuzard. Probably one of the best Earth guesses inside of the game. So you have Sleep and you have Earth Ally Bound. You can spend SP to Zadimax it to get a higher Sleep value or higher Ally Bound value, which is very nice. Okay, if you have a ton of resources to spare and you just want to go all out nuke, then you can go ahead and, you know, Zadimax plus Ally Bound mode. That'll be crazy. Okay, let me just go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. So how much Ally Bound will this inflict? 152.6, so you're getting extra 52.6% of damage if you Zadimax this guy, which is absolutely nuts. Alright, develop Protean. This one, okay, recommended by you guys. Okay, regular attack as well as light ally bound. So there really isn't any other great light guesses, which is why I chose to go with this. And you can see 37% to light if both hits manage to inflict, which is decent. It's not the best, but there really aren't any other great choices out there. If you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to let me know. And last but not least, Silas. Okay, you can swap ally seek between fire and dark. So you can toggle between ally bound mode or a control mode. Control is technically useless in my opinion. Okay, because of all of the freedom going around. So you mainly want to use this in the ally bound mode and 33.6 per hit. So you can keep stacking this and stacking this to very high amounts and you'll be absolutely fantastic. Alright, so spells, we have Una Polka for the charisma boost if you want your pets to do more damage, you want to increase their BTH. This is great. Invincible Star, excellent defensive tool to use in a pinch. If you're scared that the nuke attack is going to get you, Invincible Star, and you can choose the cost as well, which is absolutely fantastic. If I know I'm going to be hit by some nuke, which I don't know what to expect, I'll just go for the most expensive one and just tank it very, very easily. So you get 99% damage reduction for one turn. Basically invulnerability for one turn. So this is great. Centartic Crusher. This was something fun that I wanted to include. Okay, it's ice damage. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but inflicts fragile on the foe, which more than makes up for the low damage in my opinion. And fragile is also able to let you overcome damage caps, which is very nice. Also lasts for 5 turns, which is quite plenty. The only downside is that it doesn't stack super well. Okay, like minus 33.4, now you get minus 60, and if I do it again, and that is assuming you land all hits, by the way. So you don't land all hits, it will not be as crazy as that. So you can see here the stacking sort of starts to plateau off a little bit. Alright, but it's great as a finishing spell. Mandate, again, another spell that doesn't do a lot of damage, but I'm mainly using this for the statuses. Okay, so this one you get choke as well as blind, which is not very strong, but you do get it for quite a few turns. Okay, 72% choke, that's not very good, but minus 30 blind for 6 turns, that's actually quite nice. Okay, next up, the gas, Doomquake minions, probably the best earth gas in the entire game. Normally I do pack. Okay, so pack will allow me to deal the maximum amount of damage, which is why I want that, and you get the best of both worlds. Okay, and as a beast mage, you usually have more than enough MP to upkeep this, so I definitely want to do pack version. Queen Ajaya, you get Edival as well as, I believe was it Barrier? Barrier. Yeah, I think it's Barrier, let's see. So yeah, small barrier. Okay, you can boost this with your other damage boosting, your pet and gas boosting armors, toggles. Okay, like your paladin, like the one from your necromancer, and you'll get a even fatter barrier. So this is quite nice, and you can combo this with necromancer's barrier as well for an even fatter barrier. If you cast a spell, you boost your gas damage, and then you can just stack a crazy amount of regular barrier, which is quite nice. Next, Ninja Loyal Assassin. I've been thinking to switch this out since I do have quite a lot of darkness gases already compressed inside of Necromancer armor, but I'm not sure what I could replace for this, so if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. So what it does now is you can go ahead and inflict choke. The choke is not very good. Bleed, which is also not very good. Most people want to do the final mode, which is Elival, and the Elival, if you combine it with Silas, this is one crazy combination that I love to use. Absolutely nuts, man. The damage you see will be just insane. It does cost gold, but at max level, who cares about that puny amount of gold, right? So you can use this with Clever Disguise, you can use this with Optical once you stack it enough, and look at that. Like, yeah, you can just nuke with these two alone, like just keep stacking and stacking. It'll go to a crazy amount. Creatures MA 2 for Fey Wanderer's healing. Alright, and last but not least, items. Okay, Essence Orb for the SP conversion. I think this is a must-have. Regardless of what build you use, it's going to be useful either way. I have the level 5 version, though technically if you don't want to click as many times as I do, you can use the level 150 version. Pixel Eater for the SP to MP conversion. When I cannot afford to spend a turn to heal MP, I can use this as well. I can convert HP to SP, SP to MP, very, very useful. So I can basically indirectly convert HP to MP as well for a super efficient cost. Power Gauntlet, I'm mainly using this for the QC Omni Elival. Very, very useful. Okay, so not very expensive, only 216 SP. 25% Omni Elival for 4 turns. This is basically a good damage booster in any situation. Prime Chaos Orb. Okay, for like if my Fey Wanderer, if the monster is not immune to Form Shift and I want to inflict greater amounts of panic, I can go ahead and scramble their resistances, so this is quite helpful. Bag of Mixed Nuts, the most versatile miscellaneous item inside of the game. There's defensive, there's offensive, basically, and then there's control as well. So if you want to play dodge, you can do walnuts. If you want to tank, you can do donuts. If you want to boost your damage, you have mecha damage here, nuts, and then if you want to stun, you have bolts as well for the foes that need stunning. Okay, and then here we have Optical, which boosts the lucky strike rate of pets, as well as giving us extra status potence to inflict our any status effects more easily. All in all, one of the best miscellaneous items for Beastmasters, definitely a must-have. Clever Disguise, right now I am still considering this and Shadow Feeder Pendant. Okay, Clever Disguise is guaranteed pet and guest celerity, but you have to keep in mind that Clever Disguise it does, number one, it does cost a turn, so that is a huge downside for me. Not that you'll be doing much with your regular weapons, I just don't like stuff that costs a ton. I prefer quick cast stuff if I can help it. Shadow Feeder Pendant is quick cast. This is also way cheaper, so there's also that. Plus, I'm also getting Pet and Guess Celerity from Infernal Champion if I really want to, so I don't know how I feel about that, but I'll ponder it over a little bit more. And last but not least, we have Necromancer Deadly Empress Door. Unfortunately, this is not quick cast. I thought it was quick cast, but what you can do is you can spam a whole bunch of SP and then you can just keep spamming this. Okay, you can just keep stacking it for a crazy amount, and after like, what, 2 turns or 3 turns, you can basically just one-shot the monster or something like that, which is nice, but like, it does take you 3 turns, which is not a lot of turns on average, but you know, you do have to wait to get the effect. And the stacking, the monster has a chance to resist it, so don't expect it to land. And if it doesn't land, you basically wasted your SP for nothing. So yeah, that did about over 1,000 damage after 3 stacks, which is not fantastic considering you're spending over 1,000 SP. And the second one, guaranteed to burn your foe. I think that's not very good. Let me go ahead and check again what that does. Yeah, I kind of forgot. Sheer Heart Attack. 1 hit. Okay, so this one inflicts burn. So yeah, more ways to burn inside the build. You can burn this. Using this, you can burn using your Rhinestone Ritz from your Prism Heart Tome. That's Prismatic Burn. You can burn using the Pets and Guesses included inside of your Necromancer armor. So that's a way to play burn. So you can play burn, you can play poison, you can choke, you can blind, you can regular barrier, mana shield, you can you can dodge as well with the blinds, and you can get fat heals out of your Fey Wanderer, out of Meteor Jelly, out of everything, all the healing skills inside of your Spell Slinger's Obsidian Cloak. You can nuke as well, lots of multi hits inside of Spell Slinger, and then you have Ice Necro Cav for the nukes as well. So all in all, this is how the build will work. I think the build is very powerful. It can do almost everything. Like, it has a lot of defensive capabilities as well as a lot of offensive capabilities. So this is definitely nothing to scoff at. And you know, you have some insane regeneration and healing capabilities inside of this build as well. So this is basically how the whole build will work. Okay, so I will probably switch out Cephalolus for this. I will think about switching out Ninja Lawyer Assassin Contract for some other element that I don't have covered yet, and I might think about switching out Underwormling and develop Protean. I'm also thinking about switching out Necromancer Deadly Empress Door and Clever Disguise. So if you guys have any other suggestions on those items that you'd like to see me swapped out, do feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I'll read through all of them. I'll see if they have good synergy to build. If they do, then yeah. And also, I'm planning on swapping out this if there's a better suggestion. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below. That's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, let me sure to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host, Caravan Gaming. Peace out.